We all have our own idols in our minds. I have mine too. Yao Ming used to play for the Houston Rockets of the National Basketball Association, and he is my idol. There are many articles that talk about Yao Ming and his illustrious career. However, most tend to highlight his success stories. Some journalists go as far as to describe him as a man who's never tasted the bitterness of failure before. I don't agree with this view because it's simply not true. On the contrary, he is a person who has failed even more than others. On October 30th, 2002, Yao Ming stepped onto an NBA court for the first time after being drafted #1 overall. That night, his team was playing the Indiana Pacers, and all the pressure was on Yao Ming to live up to his expectations. How many points do you all think he scored that night? 10, 20, 30, maybe 50? Not even one! That's right, over 300 million Chinese fans tuned into TV that night just to see Yao Ming play 11 minutes, score 0 points, and get called for 3 fouls. In the next 7 games, Yao Ming averaged just 4 points in 14 minutes on the floor. Sports analysts and NBA fans alike were already beginning to call him a bust. Did Yao Ming shrink from the bright lights of the NBA? Did Yao Ming's fear of failure hold him back? An emphatic no. He kept his head up, redoubling his efforts to train harder and play better. With his incredible work ethic, his efficiency on the floor surged from year to year. Today, Yao Ming is an NBA Hall of Famer, 8-time All-Star, and 5-time All-NBA selection. From the inspirational story of Yao Ming, we can learn an important lesson. Never fear failure. Any basketball player, any businessman, any scientist, anyone who has ever accomplished anything before has first failed. Failures are just our starting point to success. In 1953, British scientist Rosalind Franklin was well on her way to discovering the structure behind DNA. She had already completed the X-ray crystallography and just needed to analyze the results. But as months passed, and she couldn't come up with a valid conclusion, people in the scientific community criticized her project. As a result, Franklin forfeited the study and moved away. Afterwards, 3 other scientists, Watson, Crick, and Wilkins, used her data to continue DNA research, eventually winning the 1962 Nobel Prize in Medicine and Physiology. Franklin was freakishly close to success, but she simply didn't know how close she was when she gave up. For Franklin, success was merely a step beyond failure, and failure was merely a step short of success. It's a pity that she didn't take that extra step before quitting. In the early 20th century, Marie Curie was working on her doctoral thesis when she discovered a new theoretical element, radium. Toiling through fatigue and contamination, she spent 4 years sifting through 8 tons of mineral ore, driven by the hope that she would find radium in the form of white crystals. One night, she had finally gone through every single gram of that 8-ton mass and examined her results. What did she see? Just a mass of sludge! 4 years of exertion for a bowl of mud? If I were her, I would have taken that bowl and smashed it into pieces. But luckily, she did no such thing. That night, Curie returned home. Lying in bed, she couldn't understand why she had ended up with a pile of ooze and not what she was looking for. Exhausted, frustrated, and sleepless, she got up and made her way back to the lab to take a second look. Upon entering the inky dark lab, she saw what she had been looking for the past 4 years. A faint but dazzling glow emanating from that bowl of sludge. That was radium, a new radioactive element. She had discovered it. Turns out, radium reacted with the nitrogen in the air to form the black substance. In 1911, Marie Curie won the Nobel Prize in Chemistry for her work. In the most critical part of her research, she was able to take that extra step that led to success. The captivating stories of Yao Ming, Rosalind Franklin, and Marie Curie all teach us a crucial lesson. Never give up. Failures and mistakes are simply our stepping stones to success. When we face adversity, we have to take advantage of every opportunity to learn and improve. We have to give that extra ounce that no one else is willing to give. Never be afraid to pick yourself up after a failure, brush your shoulders off, and take a step forward. Because victory is just around the corner.